Now notice, when God breaks in, we've come to the great part of this, and believe me, if I felt totally inadequate up to this point, I don't know what to say now. I feel like just keeping quiet and closing the Bible and going off the air, but we can't do that. So let me just read what God says and make a few comments as we go along. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, that's out of the storm, you see, that now has broken upon them. And God is speaking to him as the Creator. Who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? And now this is the second time, and God's going to come back to it, by the way, and we'll find that Job will finally be willing to say that he was uttering words without knowledge. That, my friend, is an awful sin. And I think today that we are having these talk programs on TV that they're not only committing an awful sin, but most of them are the most asinine that are imaginable. And they accomplish practically nothing at all. But they make for entertainment for some light-headed folk, apparently. Now, may I say to you that God says, who is this that's darkening counsel by words without knowledge? It's just like taking a bunch of words out of the dictionary. And we find that a great many people do that. A man said he always liked the dictionary because the stories were so short in it. Well, a great many people just pull out a few words and attempt to put them together. And whether they make sense or not is not maybe important to some, but the fact that they're big words. And my, they say, can't he use big words? Now, verse 3, gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Now he begins with creation. Here is the verse that I've always wanted to put in the front of every geology book, but they won't let me do it. But I'd like to put it in every book, whether it's written by a Christian or non-Christian, makes no difference. Put it in the geology book. Listen to this. Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Where were you? And that's a good question. What is it that holds these universes in space? And they're not standing still. That's the amazing thing about it. You and I are on a little earth that is probably as unstable as anything can be. And I'm not talking about earthquakes. I mean, there's nothing under it holding it up. But I don't know which is under as far as the universe is concerned, and which is top, which is bottom. And why doesn't it start going in some direction? And why does it just go around and round? And what keeps it going round and round? Apparently been doing it for millions of years. The question is, where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? And when I read about the geologists, I was with one up in northern Arizona. He took me up to a ridge. I just thought it was a ridge of sand there. Couldn't understand why the sand had piled up there. He kicked away the sand, and you know what was there? It was a petrified log. And I said to him, my, where'd this come from? He said, California. Well, I said, who hauled it in here? He says, it floated in here. And if you want to look at that Arizona desert, I can't imagine that there was ever any water there to float anything. But that's what happened. That log floated in from California. And there it is. There today, a petrified log. I said, when did that happen? Well, he said he thought probably 250,000 years ago. And he said it like he was there when the log arrived. May I say to you that he may be right. I'm not contradicting, not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that there are a lot of folk today that seem to know what took place millions and millions of years ago. God says, where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. Now, do you know where you were when God laid the foundation of the earth? Where did you